Now, prepping videos, guys, I was gonna continue making those until I ran into all this, and then I just concentrated fully on getting the repairs and the resources together to do so, getting the funds and all that, and so far so good. I can kind of take it easy now a bit, and I just want to get kind of the bathroom, maybe basically, guys, for the rain catchment deal, even if I'm not able to get to that till a later date, everything is sealed and we should be good now. Okay, so the only thing I gotta be cautious about is the winter time. So if we get a snow load on my flat roof, which normally doesn't really happen because of the wind, my location, the wind here, and I don't know, I think the most I've seen up there was like 4 inches of snow, which could be a lot for some people, but it only lasted for a couple days, okay? I didn't have to touch it, it just naturally went away. But winter time, I gotta see how this will affect my job of resealing everything, because, you know, it's different, it's colder temperatures, it's brutal wind. I gotta see if there's any winter water infiltration with ice and stuff like that, right? So, yeah. And the other thing nice about the electronic air cleaner, as it passively and cleans the air in the tiny house of any possible nasties, it's also going to help dry things out. It's moving air around, and I like that. And I only use it when the windows are shut, because you're not cleaning the outside air. There's no point. You want to clean your inside area of your place. And I'm super happy with it. That's all I gotta say. But for the prepping side of things, guys, well, I'll make a prepping video right now. We know so far the Bonehead administration is imploding the U.S. pretty drastically. I think since they got in, they have borrowed like $9.2 trillion. If I'm correct on everything all the bills they put through. So that has obviously jacked up the inflation price of everything. You guys have noticed all the prices have gone up extremely huge. He's also scuttled gasoline production in the US. So the prices of oil have gone up. So instead of the U.S. being oil independent under Trump, Biden's like, nope, we want to buy our stuff from overseas, from the Saudis, and continue doing that nonsense, which makes it no sense whatsoever. So high gasoline prices that seem to be climbing. And guys, remember, I'm in Canada. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, Rob, you're in Canada, none of this affects you. It actually does affect me drastically. We're your biggest trading partner, and whatever you guys do in the States affects us huge. Our gasoline prices are just as high, or probably higher than yours even now because of this. Inflation even affects us over here in Canada. Yes, it does. And our bozo government also was borrowing money. They kind of followed the Biden way of let's just borrow money we can't even pay for or pay back, and let that inflation just go skyrocket. So we have giant gasoline and fuel costs on top of the stupid carbon tax that they put on, which jacks up our prices as well. And The grocery costs have gone up as part of this, not only because of the sickness that went on and companies price gouging, but fuel prices from the delivery of the said groceries to the stores, and inflation. And it's just going to go up and up and up and up. And this is because we have retarded people in political office. Trump was amazing. Gas prices were unreal. The economy was the highest it's ever been, period. But then they stole, the Democrats stole the election and then just TNT'd all the awesome work he did, and now are putting both my country and the United States in a death spiral as China and these other countries recover and are set to overtake both my country and your country, because that's the plan. Guess who Joe's working for, guys? Yeah. So this is pretty insane. No penalties whatsoever for China from the U.S. for causing this global pandemic. Now that tells you right there, he's the puppet. He's China man's puppet. China's got their hand so far up his ass and is just puppeting his ass around the cameras when he can talk and pronounce a sentence that makes sense, right? Pretty disgusting, guys. He's a dementia patient that's being led around by other people, giving scripts to read by other people, because he couldn't come up and run this country like this. This is, other people are controlling and puppeting this dude. Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, Obama, I hear, this is Obama's third term through using old Joe Puppet. It's pretty crazy, guys. It is just disaster after disaster. This guy is a complete joke. I hope Mike Lindell's, remember I made my last prepping video a long time ago. I'm waiting for Mike Lindell's Supreme Court case to go through. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy. We're gonna see exactly what happens, and hopefully the military starts kicking some major butt, because these dudes got to be put away, and put away hard and fast, okay? If not, we're in for absolute hell, guys. And all I'm going to say to you is prepare now, because it's only going to get worse. Get off the grid, get a country property, get out of the cities. Try to get self-sufficient with an off-grid property somewhere. I know a lot of people I watch on YouTube in the last year, or maybe last couple years, have seen this coming, like myself, and I've been preparing. Okay? Now, I've been preparing since Obama got in and scuttled the economy back then, where I lost my job because of that over here in Canada. They destroyed one of our factories here and scuttled it and sent it to Mexico because of whatever regulations Obama was putting through. Screwed everybody here. So I got this trailer way back then, used, and I've been slowly working on it with the little cash I have on hand to put towards it, and obviously from the support of you guys here on YouTube and on Patreon. That's the only way I'm getting through this. So I definitely appreciate everybody's help, past, present, future, for sure. You know, I'm running this place pretty comfortably on about $5,000 worth of solar equipment. I'm going to invest another $2,000 to double my battery capacity, my lithium battery capacity, to get me up to 400 amp hour capacity. And I think with that, I should have a good indication of if I can handle it Like right now, there's no issues. I can leave my TV on all night if I wanted to on the capacity I have. I don't do that. I like to sleep in the dark. I'm not one of those people who have to have a TV or a radio on all night. But very comfortable. I can run my air conditioning. I now have an electronic air cleaner for the entire place. I have my fridge, as you can see, fridge/freezer right here, works just plenty fine. And you know, obviously this year was a disaster where I discovered water leaks, mold, so I had to handle and concentrate on that. But I think we should be good now. I sealed inside and out of the tiny house. I don't see any further issues unless they come about. That's why I'm saying I gotta wait for these next rainfalls and for the winter season to see how everything reacts. But at least everything's visible to me now with these chases. And then I can, from there, go on and wire everything, run some 120 volt receptacles back there, maybe some light switches, maybe some 12 volt receptacles back there, some USB 5 volt stuff back there, and then figure out the layout of the bathroom. So yeah, it's you know, it was quite the experience. The After Tiny House thus far. I learned a whole ton. And I learned this from scratch, guys. I didn't have a clue about solar. I didn't have a clue about building a house. I didn't have a clue about building or converting a used transport trailer into a house. And I'm the kind of guy who doesn't look stuff up on YouTube to figure it out. I just go ahead and do it. If it works, it works. Then we're good. If it doesn't work, maybe I gotta go back and look something up. I'll do that, or ask my good buddies on Patreon or on, you know, High Tech I-18 Stu and Graham, just to get some information on how and what I should go about things, okay? And guys, we're in a bad situation, okay? This is the time to be prepping. If you're not a prepper yet, it's probably going to be too late for you, okay? It's real simple. You need a comfortable place to live, preferably off the grid, so you're the boss. You control everything, okay? Growing your own food, catching your own water, filtering your own water, getting rid of your own sewage, so composting toilet, putting that into a garden after a year after it's broken down. Things like this, it's very important to know, because the prices are just going to go up and the wages aren't, okay? Inflation and wages, inflation's always going to win. So you're going to have to work harder, longer, and get less for your money every year going forward. The debt of my country and in the US is now at the point where it's impossible to be paid back, okay? So when that happens, you know, we get the Zimbabwe effect, where Zimbabwe, they just said, okay, let's just print money to get us out of everything, and then they had hyperinflation happen, and so they need a $1,000 bill to go get a loaf of bread, and it was unsustainable, obviously, and the whole country collapsed. That is the direction we're heading. Now, whether you believe me, I believe it's a controlled collapse. It's bad management, period, from the top, okay? These people don't know what they're doing, or if they do know what they're doing it purposely as a controlled collapse, and they don't care about you guys. They want you to suffer. As long as they're getting their healthy paycheck, they'll ram anything through, okay? for their the head people above them that are making all the cash. People in the shadows, right? And it's sad because there's a lot of good people out there working their butts off just trying to make it. And I'm just telling you guys right now, you got to prepare. You got to think about getting off the grid. I know it's a whole lot. It's hard to wrap your mind around solar. It's, to be honest, I wired all my solar myself with the help of advice of High-Tech Guy 18. He designed my whole setup. I run this place on 2 batteries that are 100 amp hour each, a charge controller, and 2 solar panels, and an inverter. But to make my system more efficient, I chose to use as much 12 volt appliances as possible. My fridge / freezer, my television, my Android box, which is actually 5 volt, so I can even run that longer because it's USB power. And I get free TV off my digital aerial outside. It just grabs it off out of the airwaves. And I have air conditioning when I need it. I have pumps for pumping water when I need it. I have laundry when I need it. Shower, hot water when I need it. Now, if there's a total collapse, I won't be able to get propane, but with my 100-pound tank there, that'll last quite a while running my showers, okay? It's not going to last years and years, but it's going to last a decent amount of time. And then after that time, you'll have to end up boiling water and having a shower that way. And the little pump I use, sprayer that I use for bleaching, I'd fill that with hot water, warm water, and use that as my shower to clean myself. All in one. It's completely, you know, mechanical. You're just pumping air pressure into a tank of water, and it has a nice little spray nozzle. Is it the best? No. But is it a hot shower when the grid's down and everything's gone to hell? Yeah. And that's pretty comfortable, guys. I'd say so. Just wipe yourself down after and you're good to go. Now, laundry soap's going to be an issue. Can't go to the store then to buy soap. So you're probably going to be ending up doing straight water or load up on baking soda while it's cheap and plentiful. Well, I get that stuff at the Dollar Tree for $1.25 all day, and it goes a long way, guys. You can use it for cleaning. You can use it for cleaning not only your clothes, your teeth, washing yourself with, deodorizing your armpits, cleaning all kinds of surfaces. It's great stuff. These are all the things you got to think about. If we go into a total collapse, what do you have on hand and what will you no longer be able to bring in? Groceries. How are you going to feed yourself? You have a stockpile of food that's going to last you at least a couple years. And the reason you want a stockpile of food for at least a couple years is, as grim as this sounds, you're going to want to wait out the masses of people that will be dying off within that year or two. And when that happens, the threat level goes way down. The crime level goes way down because there's less and less people, right? And more resources out there. So you got to basically think about hunkering down for at least a year or two on your homestead property, on your bug out property, and get through those 2 tough years. That'll be hell because there will be roaming gangs. They will be probably military. There'll be everything. People on the lookout for their next score of food or shelter or whatever. So the further out you are, the better you are. If you can afford that, okay? Like I said, I sold a turbine and some solar gear to a lady that bought property way up north. They're starting a prepping community way up north and away from, away from everything. Now, is it going to be tough? Yeah, because they're starting from scratch. And they're not really into the whole they're just getting their feet into it now, getting their feet wet into this whole situation. It's going to be tough for them. And they can't just run out to the store where they're at, because they're way out in the boonies, guys. Land is super cheap out there, but access to your property is not, which is a bonus in a grid down situation, but when you're just setting up, it makes it a little difficult, especially in the wintertime. Because if you don't have all your stuff in the wintertime and you're stuck out there for the entire winter season, you better have all the stuff you need or you're done. Okay, you're gonna suffer. It's not gonna be good. So we're in rough waters. You pray to God that Trump gets back in and people start kicking ass. DeSantis in Florida is looking good. Trump supports him. He's kicking ass right now. The country is split 50-50. We have people who are like me, who support Trump, support everything, because gas is cheap, food's cheap, economy's booming, jobs everywhere. But we have Biden on the other half, where they're imploding the country. High gas prices, inflation, stupid new laws and government rules, and just lining their own pockets, whereas everybody else is suffering. And they want to keep you masked up and, breathing in a diaper, a face diaper all day. It's not necessary, guys. The virus is smaller. It's basically taking a handful of sand, and that sand is about, as a metaphor here, or an example, a handful of sand, and that's about the size of the coronavirus particles. And what you're doing is you're putting basically a chain link fence, and you're putting that over your mouth, and you're thinking you're protected. You throw that sand through that chain link fence. Guess how much is going to pass through there? And guess how much isn't? I'm going to say 99.8% is going to pass through that chain link fence, aka the mask, face diaper. And the rest, you may have caught it and blocked it onto the outside of your mask, which then you'll pick up later. Unless you clean your mask regularly and carefully, cautiously. Now, so instead of doing that stupid stuff, why not prepare for getting the virus with vitamins? Zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C. Vitamin K and vitamin K2 as well. If you haven't heard those, pick those up. Colloidal silver. Fantastic. A nebulizer. Even better. And you can use the nebulizer with the colloidal silver and breathe that directly into your lungs. Many deep breaths. Breathe that in nice and gently. It'll not help out, knock out any inflammation in there, any nasties. I used it myself for knocking out any possible mold I breathed in. Works great. And you can take the colloidal silver orally as well. I would recommend that as well if you're sick. And continue to take it for a couple days. I wouldn't take it for more than a week though. I'd take it for maybe a week max and then stop for at least another week or two. Just gives your organs a chance to recover. Garlic, turmeric, blueberries, all the anti-inflammatory, antioxidant type foods, supplements. That's the kind of stuff you want to have on hand and into your body on the regular anyways. But during if you're sick, this is all the stuff that's going to help you guys, especially if you can't get to a doctor. A nice air filter, electronic air filter, cleaning the air, trapping nasty particles, bacteria, trapping it, holding it. That's what you want. These are all things you got to really think about when preparing. It's a lot to think about. It's a giant list. That's why a lot of people freak out, get flustered, and just say, oh, I'll just go to my buddy's and he'll take care of me. That's not exactly, you know, that's like saying, okay, my friend's going to take care of my life, take care of me in my life the rest of my life. You're going to depend on him to take care of you forever and get you through a bunch of crap? How well do you know your friends? Can you live with them for more than a week? Do you have arguments? Do you like the same type of stuff? Are you willing to learn from your friend without getting frustrated? These are all things that you have to really think about. And guys, it's seriously as a friggin' heart attack, okay? So the sooner you get into it and start learning and getting prepared and on, the less of a burden you're going to have on you and on your family. And the more people of your family and friends that get into this with you, the better off you guys are going to be. 100% you're going to be way better off. You got to get everybody on board, everybody excited, invested in it. You can pool your resources together, you can pool your money together to get stuff faster and faster. You know, the main thing is water filtration. You want to have some Berkey filters, some Sawyer filters, whatever. You're going to want to be able to have the ability to boil water. Okay? That water is essential, okay? After a couple days without water, you're useless. You're on the way out, okay? Water is your absolute. If anything, learn about water, filtering water, you get some Berkeys, build your own thing out of 5-gallon buckets. Just buy the filters themselves. They work fantastic. Each filter is good for 10 years of water, depending on how much water, what kind of water you're putting into it. Okay? If you're putting city water into a Berkey, 10 years, no problem. If you're putting swamp water and other crap in without filtering it through a pre-filter first, your Berkey's not going to last that long. You get 1 to 2 year, maybe. So you want to pre-filter the really nasty crap out of your water first, so it's somewhat, the particles and the junk are somewhat clear before it goes into your Berkey. Now what I have done is I've saved my past Berkey or Pro Pure filters that have been used up, and I save them. And what do you do with them? You can use it as a pre-filter before it hits your new your main Berkey. So you pour that nasty water in after you cleaned it out, of course. Like you want to run it through a rag or a towel or something, coffee filter. Then it goes through the old Berkey filter that you saved and put back. And then from there it drips into your new filter. And that will extend the life of your water filtering by tenfold, okay guys? That's the things you gotta know and think about. So, pretty important stuff. I hope everybody out there is starting to prepare. You look at the way the people are running our country. They're running it into the ground. And when they do, you think they're going to come and save you with a welfare check? That money's gone. That money will be long gone. And you will be on your own with what you have currently in your place. And if you have nothing currently in your place to survive, you're going to be a roaming gang, and after a couple days without water, you're going to be dead, unfortunately. Or you're going to be starving, or watching you and your friends and family starve to death because you don't know how to garden, You don't know how to forage. You don't know how to hunt. It's bad. Yes, it's going to get very bad. It's going to get very real. And if you think you're going to be fine without preparing, I got a real news flash for you guys. You're not. You're not going to make it. And I'm not trying to sound arrogant or like I know everything. I'm just laying out the facts for everybody. If you don't have food put back, if you don't have water and water filtering put back, more likely is water filtering. And if you don't know how to capture rainwater or go to a creek and get the water out of there safely and carefully without falling in and drowning and stuff like that, you're going to be in a world of hurt. And there's lots of videos out on YouTube that are great that teach you. And there's lots of awesome gear that you should have, like water filters and other things like magnesium fire sticks, magnesium rods, help start fires. Because guys, you won't be able to go find Bic lighters and such if everything goes to crap. Okay, people will want an easy way to make fire. You can stockpile Bic lighters, so you can stockpile butane, and you can get some refillable lighters. That's great too. But eventually that stuff's going to wear out. Magnesium fire starters last a hell of a long time, especially the bigger the better, the ones you can get. You're going to want to make practice with those and get good at it. Making your own fire out of your surroundings. You're going to want a shelter before winter comes, and a good shelter, and enough food and water put back so you can survive through all that. You ever watch the TV show Alone? These people are suffering through the most brutal stuff you've ever seen, and they have a safety line. They hit a button and a rescue crew comes and gets them and brings them back to society. Well, if stuff really happens, there's going to be no emergency exit button or somebody to call to help to pull you out of there. That's it. You're going to live, and you're going to live harshly, and you're going to possibly die if you're not prepared. It's that simple. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I'm just laying out the breaking truth to you here, guys. This is no BS, straightforward. Get your stuff together now before stuff gets super bad, and then you won't even be able to afford anything anyways, or you have access to it. What if the internet goes down? What if the hydro goes down? What if the water system goes down in the sewage system? Is your house going to be comfortable when you have none of those things in your house? In the wintertime, in the summertime, when it's blazing hot out, in the wintertime when it's freezing cold out? How comfortable is your house going to be during all this stuff? Do you have a backup source to heat your place, like a wood stove? Do you have off-grid solar where you can run air conditioning for the summer? These are all things you got to really think about and think about now. It's not a fantasy thing where, oh, Rob, you're just talking. No, this is things you got to think about, because nobody else is going to do it for you guys. You think Trudeau and Bonehead Biden is going to come to the rescue and give you air conditioning and give you a wood stove and give you food and water? You got another thing coming, guys. I'll tell you that right now. You think Nancy Pelosi is going to get out of her 5 mansions and with her armed guards and start handing out shit to the poor? You got another thing coming if you think that. And if you're living off all this welfare, I'm telling you what, guys, you're living on the gravy train right now, because when the country collapsed by this crap government who are just imploding us, just driving us into the dirt, all these people, when they stop getting their handouts, they're going to start looking for handouts, and they're going to start looking at your house for handouts. So you got to be careful. Security is also on the table. How to protect your place and your supplies and your family and friends from roaming people who are looking for a free handout. And people who are looking for a free handout is only going to put a strain on what you already have for you and your family. So this is like 101 basics. It's time to start now. Learn. I have a whole playlist of prepping videos for you guys. There's all kinds of people on YouTube that have awesome prepping videos to go look at. Get started, get prepared. Now I wouldn't take any prepping advice from Troy Boy, the fraudster. These are people who lie and con people on the internet. You want to stay away from that. You want to get people who are confident and who are actually off the grid, who actually go to prepping seminars and prepping expos and get the latest and greatest knowledge and gear and get their data, get their experience. Dual Survivor is a great one. Cody Lundell, the partner, which I forget his name, he's awesome too. He's got his own YouTube channel. They all got their own YouTube channels, guys. You gotta take the initiative and get out there and take a look. So I made a giant prepping video here for you guys. I'm gonna put it out here up on the Off-Grid Tiny House channel because it's been a long time. And the if you guys don't like my politics, then you're not paying attention. Politics dictates what happens to you and how the way you live. So when the politicians are screwing us with laws and inflation and burning our money through the ground, burning our money up like nothing and not taking care of us, that means they're putting us quicker and faster into a SHTF shit hit the fan scenario, what I'm talking about, where we have basically a collapse of your country, where you have no hydro, no power, no internet, no sewage, no water. They're going to keep all the money up in their mansions with all their security, where you're down in the dirt trying to scrape by to provide for your family. You'll be out of a job. You'll be on your own. There's no welfare check coming. And you won't be the only one out on your own. You'll have hordes of other people who are going to be going around, roaming around, stealing from you, trying to maybe attack you, attack any females in your group. It's crazy, guys. It sounds crazy, but that's what human savages, when you're out, you don't have water and you're not properly fed and you're pissed off, that's what happens. And there's no rule of law then. So people are going to do all kinds of nasty stuff to one another, and you want to isolate yourself from that by preparing. And it's because these politicians aren't doing the right thing in office. Keep the gas prices low. Keep the food prices low. Keep everybody happy. They don't seem to be able to do that anymore. So, you really gotta bust butt now, get informed, get it done, get on a path to self-sustainability. Now, the funny thing about these government officials, we want to go green, we got the carbon tax, we want to be self-sufficient, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right, dude. How is taxing us to death going to solve, this so-called global warming that's happening? Dude, there's no global warming going on. This summer, we had here in Canada, yet again, maybe a month or two in the entire summer that it was fairly hot. Okay? That's nothing. 2 months out of the entire year. That is nothing. That is average, okay? Now, depending on where you live, near the equator and such, it's a different story. But there isn't any global warming, guys, or I'd be reporting it to you from here up in Canada. If, let's say, in the summertime, okay, everything's getting hotter, right? Well, then I'd have 3 months of hot weather, 4 months of hot weather, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just keep adding the months on of hot weather. It's not happening. It's really not happening. And I still have an open invitation to any scientists who want to prove me wrong up here. But nobody ever shows up. Nobody does it, because it's all blah blah. It's all talk. They don't want to put their money where their mouth is, guys. It's BS. I live here. I know. I experience it. I'm out in the sun every day. I know how hot it is every day because I'm outside. Not currently, obviously. But for work, I'm outside all the time. So, guys, it's I don't know. It's pretty pathetic the way things are being run in this country and other countries, and we got to change it for the better. If we have a stable government that takes care of the people, takes care of the food supply, the gasoline prices, the wages, get rid of the stupid laws and regulations that only hinder everything. That is what you want to look for in a government. Provide good health care, provide safe schooling, provide good schooling. Not this critical race theory, racist crap that they're trying to push on everybody. What the hell is that? There's an old saying, whoever casts the first stone is usually the guy who's actually starting the shit, something like that. It's basically the old schoolyard thing. Whoever smelt it dealt it. So all these people claiming this is racist, that's racist. No, you're the racist, dude, because you're bringing it up. Nobody believes any of this crap, and if you do, you've drunk the Kool-Aid and probably can't be saved, okay? You're going to go down with the ship, and prepping videos aren't your thing, and you're probably laughing. And when the internet and the hydro goes out and you can't get a cell phone signal, you're going to be crying to mama, and you don't have any prepping gear ready to go. You don't have any skills ready to go. All you have is your bitching and your whining on your keyboard warrior crap. And that's it. And that won't feed you. That won't give you water. And you'll end up dying a slow, gruesome death. And it's unfortunate. But unless you wake up to reality, that's just the way it is. So I'm going to end the video because my camera battery is about dead. I hope you enjoyed this prepping video, guys. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Rob out.